Hey guys, it's Zach. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing something a lot different than what you are used to seeing on this channel. I have kept this channel pretty much like 99% all makeup, but I just for some reason feel the need that I want to talk about this. So basically this has almost been a whole year. I never really talk about this, and if you do know me personally, you know I never really like to be negative or like complain about like how I feel. I never really talk about my feelings unless it's positive, and I usually like to just keep the energy a lot more positive, and I always turn things into jokes. In the past year since it's happened, I've never really talked about it at all except for when it happened. So hopefully this helps me, and I hope more than anything that this helps anybody that's watching in just being safe. So basically, as you can tell from the title, this is going to be a video about how I was robbed at gunpoint and basically kidnapped by a guy that I met. So this video will probably take a very long time for me to make because talking about this subject gives me a lot of anxiety and makes me think a whole lot about what happened, and that's another reason why I never really talk about it, because I don't like to think about it. This happened November 10th, 2016. I was using an app called Grindr, which, if nobody knows, it's kind of like Tinder, but just the gay version of it, I guess. So you use it to meet people that you are trying to date or to make friends with or to hook up with or whatever. So basically this person that I was talking to for a few days, we were just like going to be friends, and he wanted to invite me over to have like dinner or whatever. So we were talking for a couple of days. We exchanged photos back and forth, PG rated photos of like just ourselves. So when the day comes for us to finally meet, I decided to go hang out with him, and he said that he's more of like an insider. He likes to hang out inside. He had his own apartment. So he was like, just come over, we can rent a movie, order a pizza, whatever. So I went over, I drove my car to his house. It was about like 20 minutes away from me. I live in Baltimore, Maryland, and I live in Baltimore County, and he lived in Baltimore City. And if anybody knows anything about Maryland, there are some good parts of Baltimore City and some not so good parts of Baltimore City, and he did not live in the best area of Baltimore City, but I wasn't like scared to go, I guess you can say. I told both of my best friends where I was going. Both of my best friends have me on Find My Friends. Like if you have an iPhone, there's an app and you can like track each other. And me and my friends just have that on each other just in case we need to know where each other are. So I told them I would let them know when I get there, and I would let them know when I like was coming home. When I arrived at the apartment building, it was just like a regular apartment complex. It was kind of in the shape of like an L. There I parked, I texted him, I said, hey, I'm here, just come out so like you can walk me in. And he said, okay, I'm in apartment blah blah blah. I totally forget the number of it, and I don't want to like say the apartment. So I was like, okay. So I get out of my car and I walk up and down like the L, I guess, and this was only like 8:30 p.m. so it wasn't like ridiculously late where it was like dangerous to be like walking around. It was right off of a main road, so I wasn't like in the middle of nowhere at all. It was pretty well lit outside. So basically I was walking up and down at all the doors, and I was like, I literally do not see that number at all. So I texted him and I was like, where is the entrance into this like where do I get into it? And he said it's actually on the doors around back. And I was like, around back? And I was like, okay. So I like peek around, and I was like, what the hell, why would I go around the back of an apartment building? But then I did see that there was a lot of other doors and buildings and everything. So I decided just to go back to my car and just like sit outside because it was November. It was pretty nice outside. So I did text him and I was like, I'm just gonna chill at my car, come out and just meet me, because I don't want to like be wandering around these people's houses. They're gonna think I'm like creepy. So I just go and chill at my car. This one guy walks past me with his hood on, and he was like, sup? And I didn't say anything because like this is not my neighborhood. I don't know you, you don't know me. So I just kept looking down at my phone, and he walked by me and he went into one of the apartment buildings. So I continued to just sit there. I thought nothing about it. So then he texted me. He was like, hey, I'm getting out of the shower. just come up to the door. It's the door number like B or something. I don't know what he said. So I was like, okay. So I just walk around back. As I'm walking around the back, there is a lot of lights. So obviously it's dark outside because it's like 8:30, but I do walk around the back and I see that same guy that walked past me and said sup. And he was coming out of another apartment building door, which was on the back of where he walked into. So I was like, maybe there's like a hallway that you can go through from one side to the other. I don't know, but I just noticed he was walking out of a totally different apartment building that I just watched him walk into like 5 minutes ago, which was kind of sketchy, like that he was going in and out of different doors. So I see this guy coming out, and it's a very long walkway, like along the whole building. He comes out and he like is walking towards me, and he has his hood on. It was a little bit cold, so like again, I didn't think anything about it. I was walking just on my phone, texting him like, okay, I'm walking up now. He walks past me and says sup again. And I ignored him again because I do not know you. So I walk past him. He walks past me like on this side of me. He walks around me, and then he jumps in front of me again with a gun, and he puts it right to my head, and he says, give me your fucking phone. So when I feel the gun on my head, I do not give a shit about my phone. I give him my phone, and as I'm giving him my phone, another guy comes from behind me and puts his arm around my neck and puts me in a chokehold. And then they go through my pockets, and I have basketball shorts on, I have a long sleeve shirt on, and I have a backwards hat on. He takes my hat, he takes my car keys, he takes my wallet, he takes everything out of my wallet, my ID, my credit card, my cash. I only had a couple bucks because I really don't ever carry cash on me. He takes my wallet, my phone, and instead of just taking my phone, he makes me unlock my phone, go into the settings, and reset my entire phone. So obviously when I reset my phone, it alerts my two best friends who have me on Find My Friends, and they get alert saying Zach no longer shares his location with you. And we walk around where I came from out to the parking lot. The guy that had his hand around my neck was holding my arm, and then the guy that had the gun was walking with the gun on my head. We walk into the parking lot, and he says, point to which car is yours. And I said, that one right there. I keep having to like take breaks because it bothers me talking about this a lot. But basically we go to the car, and I'm thinking that he just wants me to like take anything that I have out of my car to give to them, and then they will be on their happy way. That is not what happens at all. They open the back seat, and they both push me into the back seat of my car. They start my car, and they drive away with me in it, and they are taking me to the bank so I can use my card to withdraw money out of my account because they were unhappy with me not having cash on me. So I was telling them the whole time, like, I'll write down my PIN number, you have my card, you have my ID, you can withdraw money out of the bank if you want to, like, just take my stuff and go. Like, I'm good, I'll stay here. Neither of the guys were the guy in the picture, so they basically catfished me. So we drive to the bank. They have no idea how to operate a car. They proved that they've never driven a car before. They were swerving. They were driving the entire time with the headlights off. They were going on the wrong side of traffic. They were hitting the curb. They did not know how to do anything at all. And I was hoping that all of these like chaotic things happening were going to attract some type of attention from somebody on the busy road, and of course it didn't, because that I don't have any good luck in my life at all. I knew where the closest bank was. I told him that the only bank that was closest to us was 10 minutes away, and that was a lie. I just knew that a bank that was like 10 minutes away was closer to where I live. And I was just thinking the whole time, how am I going to get back home, or how am I going to find somewhere to get help? So obviously if I was in the middle of the city where I met them and where this happened, I would have absolutely no idea where to get help or where to go, because I had no idea where I was. So basically the only instinct I had in my head was get closer to home. So we get to the bank. We pull up in front of an M&T bank. It's a pretty popular bank that is on like the East Coast, I guess. At this point, it's like 9 o'clock. They tell me to get out. They walk me up to the ATM, which I've never robbed somebody at gunpoint, but I know that you don't want to go to an ATM where there's cameras because they will have you on camera. So I guess they've never driven a car and they've never been to an ATM before. So they both stand next to me at this ATM with the gun to my side while we were at the ATM, which in my head I was like, fuck yes, thank you, Jesus, because I knew that when I got out of this, the cameras from the bank would be getting their face. So they tell me to put in my PIN number. They said take out $1,000. So obviously that told me again they've never used an ATM because you cannot withdraw $1,000. So we go back and forth. They end up taking about like $300, $400. I don't remember how much they took, but it was in a bunch of different transactions because they kept making me do it so much that it was locking me out because they kept telling me to enter in $1,000. So basically they left me at the bank. I still had my credit card and my ID in my hand because they gave me all of my things to go to the ATM, and then they left right away after they got their cash. So I was just standing at this bank at 9 o'clock. So I walked down the street very slowly because I did not know if they were waiting around the corner, waiting to see where I would go. So I just casually walked down the street, and then I bolt across the street. There was a Taco Bell, and I go in there. I ask them to use their phone. First, I call my mom just to tell her to come to where I was, and then I called the police, and the police got there in like 2 minutes maybe. By the time my mom gets there, my best friend gets there, the police get there, it's close to 10 o'clock once everyone gets there, and there was probably a total of like 20 officers at this Taco Bell. They basically shut down the lobby of the Taco Bell, and they have canine units, they have helicopters, they have cars blocking off the whole drive-through of the Taco Bell, and they're all interviewing me. They have their little body cameras on them, interviewing me, asking me as many questions as I can. I'm a fucking mess because everything that I own is stolen, and I just had a gun to my head for the past hour. So when this is all happening, I'm obviously very overwhelmed. They take me directly to the police station. So I leave the city precinct at midnight after answering a million questions, after getting photos taken, after talking to like 50 different people. I leave the city precinct in the cop car. I go to the county precinct, and I have to answer more questions. I have to get more photos taken. I have to get more video interviews. I have to sign a bunch of things. At this point, it's like 2 in the morning. I'm exhausted. I'm distraught. I'm a mess. I'm scared, and I have no idea what just happened. So my best friend who I live with and my mom, they drive me home. And then in the morning, I had to go to the Verizon store. I had to get a new iPhone. Basically, nothing happened for months and months until they ended up releasing the photos that they took at the ATM at the bank. They put it all over the news, and they put my story all over ABC News, and they found one of the guys, which was the one that put his hand around my neck, which was the young guy that was driving my car. The boy that had the gun, or the man that had the gun, that was in the passenger seat, they still have not found that guy to this day. I honestly have nothing else to say about what all happened. If you are new to this channel, I do make makeup tutorials, and I do makeup reviews, and I do product reviews. As you can tell from my background, my whole life is makeup, and I just wanted to share a little bit about my personal life and something that I went through. I don't want to be one of those people that are like, they only post the good things on their social media. I want to be real, and I want to be honest with you, and I want to be open, and hopefully my honesty and my openness will help somebody. If I saw a video like this before all of this happened, I would have thought twice before going to meet somebody at their house at night in the city. Please subscribe down below, and also follow me on Instagram. It's going to be zboner_, which is written right here as always. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.